What's cracking, you wonderful human beings? Good to have you back on here for another live. Tonight, we've got an absolute cracker, which is why 96% of people who diet, quit ciggies, drugs, alcohol, fail. Right? That's not the only statistic on there. Some people say 75, some people say 96, like whatever. Pretty much here's the fact. Those people who try to make a change in their life, be it to quit drugs, quit alcohol, quit food, like whatever it is, we fuck it up and we fail and we just can't make it happen. We can't keep it going. And we're going to go deep onto this one because this has a whole heap of follow on effects which have negative impacts throughout the body. All right. Now, by the way, for those of you who are new to this, here's what I need you to do right now. Number one, any questions you have, this is your opportunity to go through and ask me. For those of you who are new here, I know we get a load of people into the group every single week. I'm James. I run the show here at JCF. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And pretty much like my jam is just making dudes like you fucking savages. And by savages, I mean like you're in control of your life and you get exactly what you want to do. Here's my belief is that no bloke should ever feel like they can't lose fat, can't gain muscle, can't quit ciggies, can't quit drugs, can't quit alcohol. We should be the masters of our own destinies, right? That's simply how it should be. And with these tips that I'm going to give you, that is how you can start to do that and you can begin this process of change. Now, while we're at it too, if you're on here right now, say hello, just like Michael Williams has as well, because Facebook doesn't tell me who's online, and I want to see you guys. I love chatting with you. I mean, I chat with a lot of you guys, and so if you can, like while you're on here, just reach out, say hello, let us know where you're from. Like where you're doing this. One of the things that us as men really lack these days is really good, strong communities. And one of the coolest things about groups like this is that we can like pair you up and you can get to meet people who are around you. We all the time, hey Dave, good to have you on, my brother. Proud of you, dude. We get people on here all the time who are just absolutely dominating but don't have the support network around us, and it's really, really important. So please just let us know where you're from. Like give us your city, give us your town, because you may end up meeting a gym buddy, right? If you can, or you might end up having an accountability buddy or just someone there to hold you accountable. One of the biggest things that we're on, and I'll touch on this in a sec, even within our crew, we do like religious, relentless accountability with our whole team. I have an accountability, but in fact, I have seven. All right, I have seven mentors who hold me accountable for different areas of my life. Within our crew, within the JCF team, we all hold each other accountable. We have accountability meetings for our whole team, and then we have one-on-one accountability too. Super, super important. Michael Williams just said a support network is very beneficial. It's essential, absolutely essential. We need to have this support network, hence why I come on here for you guys as well. Now let's get to the task at hand. Why most people who diet, quit ciggies, drugs, and alcohol fail. Why is this? Why does it happen? Because you see so many blokes who want to give up. I'll never forget this. I remember talking to a bloke who just is doing a heap of blow, and he pretty much, between blow and gambling, he lost his house. I remember talking to him. I was like, mate, didn't you fucking realize that what you're doing was not smart? Like, this was costing you a whole heap of money. It was costing your relationships, costing your kids, costing your house, all this sort of stuff. And he's like, mate, I tried like 5 times. I tried over and over and over again to quit, but I just couldn't. And it's this thing that we have within our conditioning. You see, when you eat nice food, when you eat fatty food, sweet food, salty food, you get this little dopamine burst and you feel really good. It feels great and you want more and more and more. That's why certain things you just want to keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating, right? Now, when it comes to ciggies, it's the same thing. Every time you have that puff, just doing this and then sucking on something releases a little bit of dopamine, and then on top of that too, the nicotine releases a little bit more. Drugs, dopamine; alcohol, dopamine; sex, dopamine; going out and working too much, excessive workloads, dopamine as well. Any form of addiction or any form of habit that we have is generally going to be dopamine mediated if you just find it really, really tough to kick it. So here's what we need to do. Step number 1, we need to change our identity. First of all, the people who are most susceptible to failing diets, quitting ciggies, drugs, alcohol, all that sort of stuff, are guys who don't identify as being people who are going to absolutely fucking crush life. If we switch this mindset, if we chuck out all these bad habits, I was actually doing an interview today with one of my guys called Steve Coop. Shout out to Steve, absolute legend. One of the things that Steve told us about, Steve was in a really, really bad way, right? Really, really bad way. He never backed himself. He was a workaholic. He didn't see his kids grow up because he was just working all the time, thinking he was providing a better life for them, right? Which he knew was bullshit. But he was hooked on it, hooked on the success and hooked on chasing the little green monster, right? That's money. And one of the things that I learned from Steve today was that when we tell ourselves these bullshit things, I'll quit on Monday, right? I'll quit next week. I'll just do it later. We're not acting as our higher selves. When we're not acting as our higher selves, our lower selves come out. The person who pushes it off, the person who says, oh, you know what? It's just too easy. I'll go and have another drag. I'll go out and I'll just eat that food because it's just there. It's just a little bit. And we sell ourselves this same old bullshit. What we need to do if we want to actually quit it is we need to stop it then and there. No ifs, no buts, no bullshit. Just stop it then and there. Simple as that. Because if we stop it then and there, if we say, tomorrow I'll never smoke another cigarette again, tomorrow I will not take any more drugs, tomorrow I will not drink any more alcohol, tomorrow I am not going to eat another piece of food, you will make it happen if you set that boundary there. Now, I definitely know that with drugs like heroin and stuff like that, that's a little bit different because there are medical issues that come with this. But the rest of them, we have to change the identity. Then on top of that too, we can have the other strategies, right? Then on two, we can have the support. Then we can have the structure. We can have all that. But the first change that needs to be made is identity, the way that we look at ourselves and the way that we view ourselves. That needs to change. Here's the thing. You can go through whatever program you want. You can go follow a diet, right? You can have a diet, perfect diet written out for you right there. It's the wham bam. It's the best thing in the world that you've ever seen, this diet. So much detail, totally customized to you. But if you still identify as the person who's fat, the person who doesn't treat their body with respect, the person who doesn't love themselves, and the person who walks past a bakery and goes in and gets that fucking croissant, right? You will stay fat because you will not be able to follow that diet. Same with Ciggies. You can have all the support networks that you want in the world. You can have the best misses. You can have the best boys to support you. You can have the best whatever it is. But in the end of the day, if you're still that person who says, oh, times are tough, I'm just going to have a Ciggy, I'm just going to do it, it's just one, and you bullshit yourself like that, you will not be able to quit, right? You look at Adam Nash. Adam's has actually just jumped on. He said, addiction's a bastard, but being addicted to JCF is the best addiction in the world. I love you, dude. So Adam came on. We chatted just the other day, and we're going to get his podcast episode up as well. And it's one of the things that we saw from Adam was that he came to us and he was pretty hooked on opioids. He wasn't having a terrible time. One of the things that I noticed in Adam straight away was that he said, I'm going to be better. I'm going to fix this. I'm not going to dawdle. I'm not going to fuck around. And in that moment, literally on the first phone call I had with him, he just changed his whole mindset and changed his whole outlook on life. And he's now at a place where he's the best man that he can be as a father, as a husband, as a worker. In terms of his career, he's crushing it, healthy. Every single thing is just onwards and upwards, mindset, mentality, the whole thing. It all starts with the identity shift, all right? This is what we need to do. Now, if you look at the next thing that we need to do after that is we then need to get structure. So once we've had the identity shift, we then need to get structure. First of all, what are you doing this for? What's your why? Why are you quitting Ciggies? Why are you dieting? Why are you quitting drugs? Why are you quitting alcohol? We need to understand this why and then pin back to it. Because when times are tough, you are naturally, every single human is going to want to go back to comfort, because when times are shit, we crave dopamine because it makes us feel good. It makes us feel okay again. So we crave it. And the easiest place to get dopamine is from the place that you're addicted to. And so we're going to crave that. But if we pair this reason, this identity shift, with a why, like why you want to change, and you know exactly what your summit is. By the way, who hasn't got their summit yet? Who hasn't got the summit info? If you don't have the summit info, I want you to go comment summit down the bottom, right? In the comment section, comment summit there, and we'll get you the summit info. You need to have this, otherwise this just won't make sense, okay? So you need to get your summit mapped out. Know exactly why you're doing this, who you're doing this for, what you're doing this for. You need to know your compass. All right. Another thing too, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the compass, go down, get us for the summit video. We'll hook it up with you. Okay, the summit page. We'll hook it up with you. It'll explain to you exactly what you need to do. And then after we've got that, that's when we can have the map, and that's when we then provide the accountability. But it has to be done in that order. If you provide a map and a game plan without knowing where you're going or what your compass is, you're just going to throw it all. You're pissing in the fucking wind. You don't know where you're going to end up. It needs to be direction driven. So this is how we go through, and we've worked with many, many guys who've had addiction problems to food, to ciggies, to drugs, to alcohol, to sex, to porn, to whatever it is. All these things, we can fix it using this same philosophy, same very, very simple, but it works week in, week out. If you haven't got that, you need to comment summit. Now, another thing too, stress. Stress is one of the major reasons why people fuck up, okay? Oh, we're going fuzzy. Am I back? No, I'm just going to be fuzzy. Okay, cool. There we go. I'm back now. Stress is a big one. The thing about stress is that it causes us to do stupid stuff. When we get stressed, adrenaline goes up, IQ, so our brain function, our smarts go down. We start acting irrationally. We start to become erratic. We start to become emotional. We start to not be as present in the moment. So what I have for you as well, for all of you guys who haven't seen the summit, all right, I've got another course for you as well, which is the breathwork course. This is going to be an absolute game changer for you, because if you get stressed, if you get anxiety, you are going to want this puppy, because it will be a life changer for you. What we do is we get you doing breathwork, all right? We get you doing these particular things which will make you feel in certain ways. When you're down, we've got stuff to bring you up. When you're too high up, we've got stuff to bring you down and make it so that you stay neutral all the time and super, super present. If we're not present, that's when we lapse. That's when we go through. So if you talk to smokers about this, what'll happen is they'll be clean for like 3 months, and then they'll have a really, really shit phase. They'll walk past someone smoking, and be like, bang, they'll go straight back. They'll ask for a drag, and they'll just have one, and then that'll start it all again. One lapse, one moment where they're not present because they're not handling their stress terribly well. So what we need to do is we need to fix that. All right. Same goes for food. Same goes for alcohol. Same goes for sex, porn, whatever addiction you have. It is the same thing, because it's the same neurotransmitters working. So that's what we need to control. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when I mention the summit or the compass or the map or the accountability, you need to comment summit. I'm going to hook you up with that. Okay, so get that. Second thing, if you don't have access to our breathwork course yet, which is going to allow you when you're like running too high and wide and you're really, really stressed out and you just need to chill the fuck out, comment summit as well. We're going to hook you up with that. Anyone who comments summit gets these things, right? Next thing after that, if you find that you're like super low and you need things to bring you up and you're feeling a little bit depressed and a bit shit and blur, you also need to comment it, because we're going to hook you up that breathwork course too, because we've got a heap of stuff in there. We can totally control your state by doing this, and we can put you in the state where you are physically optimal 24/7, 365. All right. Now, on that note, before I go, I want you to make sure that you've got all this stuff. You guys need it. You need to have this. This is essential for every single man, woman, and child. They should all have this information. You all need it. Okay? So if you have any friends, if you have this information, you have any friends, it's your duty to go pass it on to them as well. Bring people up with you too. Here's one thing that I learned from a lot of guys, particularly guys like Adam, actually, and Marcus Norton, an owner of Nortec. The best way to make yourself better is to bring those up around you. If you level up, you then need to make sure that your friends and your family and everyone around you levels up too. So all this information I give to you is going to make you better, but you in turn need to make them better too. So pass it around. I make this for free because I want you to give it out. I want you to get it out to people, because it's going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be a game changer for them. Pass it around, spread the love, and make it so that every single person who's around you has the same opportunities that you do. Same goes for these lives. If you know someone who might potentially benefit from this, invite them into the group, bring them in, we can approve them, right? And just tell them that to write on the entry questions that you sent them in, and then we'll approve them every single time. If they're referred by a member of our group, we'll approve them. They can come in, they can get access to all this information as well. Okay? On that note, crew, I'm going to leave you all to it. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you need any help, comment summit. We'll get you the stuff out there. I'll hook you up with it. Okay? If you have anyone who needs help, pass out the information or bring them into the group, introduce them, and we'll hook them up with whatever they need. On that note, crew, I'll leave you to it. Have an amazing evening.